Hello everyone, welcome to my channel once again. The other time we treated dependent and independent voltage and current sources, and I made mention that I'm going to be treating some examples based on that explanation. So today we have an example of a dependent source here. We are asked to find the value of I1 and I2. This is I1 and I2 using Kirchhoff's current law. We have dealt with Kirchhoff's current law. So if you are having issues with it, please go back to my previous video to watch how to resolve Kirchhoff's current law, or what the law actually means. Let's look at this circuit. Moreover, if you are watching my video for the first time, kindly subscribe, like, comment, and then share this video. Okay, let's go. Look at this circuit. We have a source, which is 2 amps. We have a resistor, 3 ohms. We have a current-dependent current source. This is a current. You see the arrow here is a current dependent. This current here is depending on another current, which is I1. It's depending on I1. So that is why it is current dependent current source. Current is the source, but it's actually depending on another current, which is I1. And then here we have a resistor of 2 ohms. We are asked to find the value of I1 and I2. It's very simple. Let's consider node A. You know, this is a common point. It's a common node. This current, this branch, and this branch are all connected to this common point. So at this point, we take Kirchhoff's current law. So we say at node A, we see that 2 amps is going to this node. I1 is leaving the node. 4I1 is going into the node, and I2 is leaving the node. If we take the sum of all the current going in and coming out, we will have 2, which is going in, which other one is going in, plus 4I1. 4I1 is going in. It will be equals to the ones going out. I1 plus I2. But if we go back to Ohm's law, we will see that this current is flowing through this in a parallel system. The voltage that is flowing through this resistor is the same voltage that is flowing through this resistor, because they are all in parallel, and that voltage is V. So that means V1 will be equals to, or is V rather, not V1. V for this one it will be equals to I1R, which is 3, let me say 3I1. Coming here, you also have that V equals to 2I2, which means I1 equals to V over 3, and I2 is equals to V over 2. So from this, we can see that 2 plus 3I1 equals to I2. We can now substitute the value of I1 and I2 into this equation. So we have 2 plus 3. I1 is V over 3 equals to I2 is V over 2. So this is 2 plus V equals to V all over 2. You know, this and this will go. So 2 equals to V over 2 minus V. What do we have? 2 equals to, the LCM is 2, V minus 2V, which is minus V over 2. So that means minus V equals to, minus V over 2 equals to 2, and then V equals to minus 4. If V equals to minus 4, it means I1 equals to minus 4 over 3. And then I2 equals to minus 4 over 2, which is equals to minus 2. You were asked to find the value of I1 and I2. So we've gotten the value of I1 to be minus 4 over 3, and then I2 to be minus 2, which means this current I1 is actually not flowing in this direction. It's flowing upward. It's not flowing downward. It's flowing upward. I2 also is negative. This is rather, pardon my error. I2 also is flowing down from this diagram, but the value is minus. So that means the current is flowing in opposite direction. If we want to check whether Kirchhoff's law is right, we can see that from here, 2 plus 4I1 equals to I1 plus I2. If we do that, we have the same answer. So this has given us the value of I1 and I2. It's very simple, very easy to do. If you have any challenge, kindly reach out to me. If you have any issues with circuit theory, I do a lot of stuff with circuit theory. If you have issues with circuit theory in general, kindly reach out to me. And if today is the first time you are watching my video, please subscribe, like, share, and also drop a comment for me. I'll be very happy to see your comment. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. See you in my next video.